Hallo meine Lieben. Hi guys. Thursday evening. Let's bring color to our life. Thank you for joining me. Forgot to get some coffee. That's cold coffee. So welcome to me, Angela from Elfen und Helden. I'm an elite retailer for flexible paints over here in Frankfurt in Germany. So when you join me, just say hi to me. Let me know that you're watching and where you are watching from. So I've done a second attempt with those stripes. Am I live? I'm not quite sure. Let me just check. I'm not quite sure. Somebody maybe can say hi to me. Anybody is there? I'm recommended it in live. Can't see myself being live. I think I am. So I'm just carrying on. Okay. So who was with me in last week's live knows that those stripes turned out to be an absolute disaster. I can only say, do as I say, not as I do. There were several things going wrong. Firstly, I've used the wrong tools. So I always say use tools of good quality. You know, it's going to, help your turnout. Hi, Nina. It's going to, basically your final result will rely on the tools you use. So hi, Michelle. So the tools I used last week for applying the glue was, it was a cheap sponge brush. And the reason I've taken that was that I didn't want to, bonsoir Michelle, I didn't want to ruin my nice brushes. So, but this was the wrong thinking. That's just the way it is. So this cheap sponge brush left so much texture so that I applied even more glue and more glue and more glue to level everything out. And at the end, there was so much glue on there. So the drying time, usually you need about only 20 minutes to let it dry, but you're only supposed to apply it very thin. The drying time was not long enough. So the glue was like sticking on all sides and pulling on all sides. Then the second mistake I made is that I was just unconcentrated. So when I applied the foil on here, I was, talking at the same time. So I managed to get like the backing of the foil onto the glue, which, pulled it even up even more. So we've tried it out. I spoke to Amy from AJ's Vintage Designs because she is like a dictionary for products, and she tried to how do you call that, to redo my mistakes, and she really couldn't, so I know I had to, I took everything off. I took all the paint off. I started all over, put some slick stick on again. I put some caviar on again. I put some top coat satin on again before I applied the stripes. And this time I've used a synthetic artist brush to apply the glue. The glue went on like honey. There was like no texture or anything. A very thin coat, which is like totally enough for applying the foil. And I made sure when I applied the foil that I'm not getting onto the unfoiled areas with the backing of the foil. So at the end, hi Isabel. So at the end, everything turned out nice. So it was my mistake. I'm not perfect at all. You see things go wrong, and they go wrong when you don't follow your own rules. That's the way it is. So always use tools of good quality. So I have that banged in my head now. So thank you, Nina. Thank you, Nina. That's yeah, that's a good way looking at it. But you know, I'm a perfectionist. You know, doing a stupid mistake like that. You know, I mean, honestly, I never ever had to take everything back down and start all over. That never happened to me because I'm a perfectionist, and you know, I always try to do everything after the rules and things like that. But you know, when you don't follow them one time, bam. So Michelle, I did use the tape, of course, but the thing was, you know, I can't put anything on top of the stripes. You know, the glue was already there, and what happened, I'm just going to show you. This is now gold. What happened, you know, I was gluing it. This was like still unfinished, so they were just like the glue, those stripes. And I didn't take, you know, I was talking and I was showing to you, and I was talking, and I was getting some of the backing, which is pure foil. I was getting it onto the glue, and because everything wasn't dried enough, the glue was so thick on there, it was just like pulling it up. So there's just several things happened there. So make sure to use tools of good quality. I'll never ever again use one of those Chinese thingy brushes. Did I see Vera? Hi Vera, thank you for joining. So, okay, anyhow, we're going to use the glue and the Dixie Shine again because I want to do a little bit on the handles. I'm just going to get the drawers over. So, because we have all those details, and last week, I'm going to bring you a little down. Last week we had, I hope that makes sense, Michelle. I know I'm sometimes talking in, so there we go. So those details, I want to have a little bit of the Dixie Shine on, but not a huge amount. So I'm just going to grab my brush when I find it. I'm going over here. So this is the stick with me. That's the glue. It is very sticky. And I'm very messy, so the lid is sticking like crazy by now. Put it in the safe area. So what I've done with my brush, this is my artist brush. And what I've done, because when the glue dries in your brush, you can basically throw it away. Exactly, Nina. So that's the reason I wanted to explain it to you. What basically happened. You know, I spoke to Amy, and she tried to reproduce this mistake, and we basically finally came to the result. There was just like, you know, I mean, I put tons of glue on there, which is like far too much, and it didn't dry long enough. So what I've done with that brush, it is very messy, but I have, before I wrapped it up, I've dipped it in the glue, so it's soaked with glue, and it stays soft, you know, so it doesn't dry. The glue doesn't dry in my brush. That's the idea behind it. Oh, getting the glue everywhere. So now I just want to have like a little bit on here. So I'm just basically, there's enough glue in this brush to just apply in certain areas, because I don't want to have full coverage. I still want to have that lovely peacock and peony peeking through. So I'm basically just using in certain areas randomly. I think where I want to have it. When you hold it against the light, you can see the shiny areas where you added the glue. So that's it. That's enough. Put it to the side for drying. You could see how little I just added on there. I mean, this is still, you know, just what's left in the Instagram. I don't know if you can really see what's in my brush. Now I'm just going to reload it a little because I've used quite a bit. My fingers are very sticky now also. So I'm just touching some of the areas where I want to have some of the foil. Highly concentrated. Concentrating because I don't want to get it all over it. You'll see later, even with that little I've added on here, how much of the foil is going to come. If you don't have enough, if you feel at the end it's not enough, you can, you know, still apply some glue over it and do some more foil. That's absolutely no problem. But as I said, don't do too much from the beginning. So now I'm going to put that brush away. I'm just going to load it up with my glue. It is messy, guys, but this keeps your brush from drying in. And I'm wrapping it up in my cling film. So, and this is going to prevent it from drying out. So that's safe in there. Close that lid. I can't screw it anymore. It is I made such a mess with it. So hi Anna Maria. Thank you so much. Well, Michelle, I mean, I was very close. I really was very close because it was sticking everywhere. So it wouldn't have been only the Master of Disaster, it would have been the comedy show of Elfen und Helden. So you're so funny. No. Oh my. Yeah, guys, we have to meet up one day all together. I mean, this will be so funny. I can guarantee. So this one I've already done. This is basically the look I'm going for. So the peacock and the peony are still peeking through, and the Dixie Shine is just giving a little of interest. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to use the animal print stencil on the side of the drawers. As I said, they are not very. This piece looks like a Chippendale, but it is already a factory finish. So this is laminated stuff, and I didn't like the look of the drawers, so I decided to paint them on the sides also. Painted them with peacock. On the inside they are peony, on the outside they are peacock, and we're going to stencil on there with the peony. And I brought with me, and that's basically what we decided last week already, use the Safari stencil from Bells and Whistles, which has 4 parts. Now mine has only 3 parts left. It has the tiger, it has the cheetah, it has the giraffe. How do you pronounce that? Giraffe, oh God, my English. And this is the zebra, which I haven't cleaned yet. Another bad habit, I didn't have time. I didn't put water with me. So anyhow. But we're going to use that on here. And I'm just placing it down. I have sticky fingers. Sticky fingers, sticky fingers. Yes, she can, Nina, she can. Absolutely. She's adorable. Oh, I just hope one day we all meet up. I really wish we can. So, okay, I have my stencil brush. Obviously I've used it in the German live, so I didn't clean it in between. So I just put it on. I just had it on wrapped it in a baby wipe. So come on, concentrate. So if anybody is new, just let me know that you're watching. Don't be shy. Say hi to me. If anybody would like to sprinkle this video, I'll be very happy. Sharing is caring. So, Bosch Talk stencil, I'll load it up. So this obviously would be far too much. So I'm just like offloading and moving it into my brush. I'm not going for full coverage. That's what I decided on the other side. And I'm going in a stippling motion to prevent the paint from bleeding under the stencil. So I'm basically dabbing down in a 90-degree angle to the project. Dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. It helps when you have your project sealed, because if you make a boo-boo, it is easier to clean up or to take off again. The chalk mineral paints, they are open pores, so they intend to grip to everything which is touching them. This is not sealed, so do as I say, not as I do. Same thing again. You can apply some, I just tape that down a little bit, at least that I'm trying to be good, so it doesn't move. But there is special glue for stencils, which is like a repositioning glue, you call that. You can use for that, and you can put on the back of your stencil. I'm not a great fan of it because I'm messy enough, and I don't, the glue, you're not getting all the residue back off your stencil, not without mineral spirits or something like that. So I usually don't use it. So that's fine. I don't want to have, as I said, a full coverage. That's perfectly fine for me. That stencil is also a continuous stencil. So the pattern is repeating. Do you say continuous? A repeating stencil. Is it repeating stencil? Michelle, my translator. My head is sometimes gone. So. go. I think I'm fine. That's, oh, yeah. Get my hair in there. Get my hair in there. So I had not cleaned my stencil beforehand, so that's the reason you may see some areas which are not very clean, but you can clean that up just with a brush. As long as it has not dried, it's fine. So the paint is building up on that stencil, so that's the reason why. That's the reason why. It's boo there, I don't want. Take that off. So it's easy to take off as long the paint is still a little damp. Just for this area here. Just want to clean up a little. So, and I want to have this pattern going right to the front also. That's the reason I'm just grabbing some of the peony. And I'm going to, let's see if you can see. Yeah. And I'm just going to, you don't have to, I just like to, you could basically cut your stencil, but as this is let's blend this edge in a little. As this is an easy pattern, you don't need to have like big painting skills to basically just soften this area up. Painting skills to have this pattern following up to the edge. That's just basically what I like to do. That's what I like to do. So obviously don't overwork your paint like I'm doing at the moment, because when you overwork your paint, you're pulling it back off. Again, do as I say, not as I do. So are you painting along with me, guys? Hi, Sam. Ah, here he is. The guy with the gloves. Are you well? I'm still not wearing gloves, so that's the reason my fingers look a complete mess. I don't mind. Thank you, Michelle. A repeating pattern. Thank you, Michelle. A repeating pattern. So I just want to loose up this edge of the stencil. There we go. There we go. So we have that pattern right up to the edge. And this should be now dry enough I can continue doing the end there, which is again a bit of a challenge because now I can't really tape my stencil off. Let's see. That's the area. So I have to line it up. I have to eyeball the whole thing. So, you know, I like challenges. Same thing, offloaded my brush. Gonna come, continue this pattern down here. That's the reason I'm already having peony colored fingers. I haven't used nail polish. It is peony. I mean, this is a pattern you could really do by hand without a stencil, but it is just quicker and more fun. So let's see how we are on this side here. I think go there. I have this one now. So there we go. There we go. Clean up some of the edges. As I said, this is not happening because there's like paint under the stencil and it's not you really should clean it again. Do as I say, not as I do. Here we are again. If you're looking for a clean impression, I most of the time don't really mind. Can go over the edges at the end also. But that's fine. See if I have to do some touch-ups in some areas, especially where the stencil meets the paint is building up a little there. So I'm just softening that a little up, blending that a little in, so it looks a little more continuous and less of an edge. Again, here when you overwork the paint, you can take it off. I just want to have this edge a little. It's sometimes in your benefit, because then you can basically blend in the edges of that stencil. Paint. That's it. Leave it. This area is fine. And I think I want to have a little bit of a cleaner edge here. There you go. There you go. Fencing. Fencing. Fencing on both sides. Oh, come on. Making you dizzy, guys. I'm sorry. So, that one is finished. And the other one needs a second, or the second side being done also. Let's do that quickly. Just going to grab some of that paint on here. Just have some there. Bristle. Bristle. You can see on the back. Let me see if I can just clean that just a little with my just a little on the back anyway, because obviously everything which is like slightly underneath is pushing the stencil a little up, so paint can bleed underneath. So I'm just cleaning that a little with my let's see how we go. Maybe I just use a little bit of a different area now. Just a little bit. So, stencil brush. If I missed some comments, that was a bit too much paint. That's juicy, even so. Who did, Michelle? I didn't read that before. Ja, danke, Vera. Ja, du weißt, ich bin immer gerne farbenfroh. Habe ich auf Instagram gesehen, die Kommode, die ist der Hammer. Super schönes Blending. Echt toll gemacht. I don't know who is on Instagram from you guys. Vera just done a very beautiful dresser. Ever so pretty. She posted it on Instagram. beautiful blending. So going over the stencil here with my baby wipe. Yeah, it's fine. Doesn't need to be anymore. So do the close up to the edge now at the front here. Got to be a bit careful because obviously the paint is still wet. As I said, that's really easy with a pattern like this because that's irregular anyway. Can do that easy. Nobody will notice that it has been, that it doesn't belong to the stencil. Highly concentrated. So we've had beautiful sunshine here today. The weather is finally, don't overwork your paint, guys. Don't overwork your paint. So you can hear the lawnmowers going everywhere. Everybody's got a lawnmower out. Even it is already 20 to 8 p.m. So went right up to the edge like that. That's me. Looking a complete mess. Mess. So last area. Let's see how or where we went. I think I went for this. Something like that. Is there some paint in here? Let's see. No, of course there's not. Try not to move it, which just happened, I think. Yeah. Just bring a little back in place. down here. And this is, I think, is it that area? Let me think. We've had, usually you see those, you know, those dots up here. That's basically where you align them, but obviously with that draw, I can't align the dots. So I have to remember, I just have to remember where I went. So this, yeah, exactly. That's the one for up here. This area. Let's see. So for this, it would be very handy if there was some glue on the back of the stencil, because it would not move as easy as it does now with me just holding it down. But as much of a perfectionist I am, stenciling, I'm not really. I'm fine with everything. Oh, I like that. That's pretty. That's very pretty. So, but I can see there's an area here I don't like, which is, let's see where we went, which is that one there and that one there. There's my fingerprints on there. I don't want to leave them. So, guys, have that finished. Yeah. Put that there for now, because otherwise I'll sit in it. Stencil brush into the water. Those sides are done now also, and this is going to peek through then basically when you open up the drawers. And the rest of the white you see, that's basically the sliding area, so I can't really put anything on there, but that's the way it is. So now we're going to come to the fun part. Well, fun part. We're having fun parts all the way along. All the way along. So now we're going to come to the foil. I'm just going to clean my fingers up a little, guys. Yes. That's basically what I just need now. Is my foil fell on the floor. Let's get the, oh, it doesn't really matter. Does not really matter. Yeah, sorry. So I always keep all bits and pieces left from the foil. And when I've done the stripes, there was like enough left over basically to reuse. That's what we're going to do. So there you can see how the stripes basically came off the foil, you know. So I lined it up like this, then I turned it around and done the other side like that from the foil. And this is basically what's left now, and that's what we're going to use. I'm using a toothbrush to make sure I get it in all the areas. Can you see that? In all the areas where we have the glue. So the foil is by now really stressed out because I've done the stripes with it. been moved around. So there's like flakes coming off you can see on the side, but this I can take off later then. Just very easy. I think I'm going to need a little more. As I said, if you feel at the end that you don't have enough of it on, you just repeat those steps. You add some more glue and you add some more foil. But as I do want to have some of the, when you glide over it with your fingers, you can feel if there's still some areas sticky. Pretty much used up. It's too much of, let's see. And here. You can see how much is coming off, even I've applied only tiny little bit of glue. So now it makes even, you know, it makes probably even more sense to you what I meant with you hardly need any glue. So that's basically what it is. And like this, you get like full use out of your Dixie Shine sheets. You don't need to waste anything. It works beautifully. So oops. You're obviously quicker when you use a fresh sheet, but don't like wasting any product. Don't like wasting any product. Exactly. I always keep, you know, from decoupage, it doesn't matter, transfers, wood you bends. I always keep bits and pieces and leftovers. You can feel where it's still a bit sticky. Because the glue won't ever dry, guys. The glue won't ever dry. So those areas will stay sticky until you add some foil. That's the way it is. And that's the way it's wanted. So you don't even need to worry if you don't have time to apply the foil on the same day. You just come back the next day and you do it then. That's basically what I've done with the stripes. I had them dry overnight, but for the reason that I didn't have time yesterday, it was late. So some sticky areas there. Feel. There you go. So that's now pretty much used up. There's still some, just a tiny little bit. So it looks still a little messy. There's just some loose bits coming off around of that foil. And that's only because, you know, I've really worked it up now to the most. To the most. So there you go. Still peacock and peony and some of that silver leafing from that silver foil. Other one, they still need to be stenciled also, but for that I'm going to clean the stencil first. And the toothbrush I'm using basically to get it in all those nicks and crannies of that ornament. To make sure I have all the areas with the glue covered and no sticky areas left. Those foils, they come in silver, in copper, in gold, obviously. And let's see. And as I said, if you miss some areas or you like to have more in some areas, you can apply, you know, even on top of the Dixie Shine, you can apply some more glue and go from there. And you can apply the Dixie Shine or the glue directly onto metal or plastic or something like that. That works nicely. You don't need to seal it. Feel there's some sticky areas here. You can hear that when you pull it up and you have this ripping noise. And there's still uncovered glue somewhere. There we go. Go. See all my face in a minute. I'm boring you guys, aren't I? Sorry. It has to get finished. That's the way it is. So, thank you, Vera. You know, there could be me. I sometimes, you know, misplace my things also. I'm going to put it there where I can find it easily, and at the end I can't find it anywhere. So the nice thing about those foils is that they are, well, as you can see, there is like hardly any mess. If you do like this metal leafing, you're covered in flakes. So I'm not starting with metal leafing, guys. You can just imagine what happens then. I have the stuff sticking everywhere, but not on my project, for sure. Then for sure I will have a situation where I have like all the gold in my face and in my hair and whatever. So those have still to be stenciled. I'm going to do that off screen, but that's basically, there we go. That that Dixie Shine works perfect when you use it the right way. And well, just don't use too much of the stuff. Oh, 1 hour. Guys, I'm taking up your time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so grateful you're still there. So. Oh, I can't remember. I did. I can't remember. I've been doing so many things. I can't remember. Guys, thank you so much for being with me tonight and being patient. And I'm so happy that you're all there. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you watch replay, put hashtag replay into the comments and let me know that you've been watching. And I'll probably see you then next week, guys. Have a lovely weekend and take care. Bye, guys. Please, Michelle, do show me my projects. I'm losing track. De rien, bonsoir, bonne soirée. Pardonnez-moi, mon français, c'est pas très bien. Bye bye, au revoir.